Hi guys, my name is Carla and welcome to my plant channel Chlorophyll is the New Black. Today we are going to do a super huge, big, enormous terrarium. So I went to the garden centrum and I saw this container that is a jar for water of 8 liters and I thought that it was just perfect for a terrarium project. So I couldn't wait and I also bought some plants that I'm going to show you in a minute and I will start this new project and I think it will look just amazing. So I'm going to show you what are the materials that we are going to be using and then we'll start to make the terrarium. So guys, let me show you what do we need to make this terrarium. First, a tip. Then after you are comfortable, you can use some type of coarse gravel or rocks for the false bottom. You can also just use rocks from the street, but just wash them well before you use them. Then type of mesh, in this case I'm using just like a plastic piece of a bag that I just perforated with a needle. You also need activated carbon or charcoal that has no chemical added. Then you need any type of decoration such as shells or also some rocks. Then you need soil and some type of tools, that in this case I'm just using a normal spoon, and of course the glass container, that in this case I'm using an 8-liter container. Okay, I'm going to focus on the terrarium so that you can see how this is done. Okay, let's start with the false bottom. This I'm going to do, as I said, with white gravel. And why do I do this? Is because I really like the contrast between the white and then the soil. So I think it looks pretty nice to see the layering. And why do we do a false bottom? This is because we want a separation between the soil and the water so that it can circle around and the roots don't stay sitting in water and rot. So for this, it's enough to have a couple of centimeters of gravel layer. We want to even it well, and then we want to put the mesh, that in this case I am using plastic that has been perforated with just a needle, but you can also use any type of mesh that doesn't get oxidated or biodegrades, like made out of cotton or something like that. That's not what you want to use. So you want to use something that is waterproof and also doesn't degrade over time. After the mesh is into place, what we want is to put the layer of activated carbon. For this I'm going to take my spoon, take generous amount of charcoal, and then I will just going to sprinkle it around. The activated carbon will serve to actually clean the water so that it circulates and close the cycle. Very good. After the charcoal, what we want to put is the soil. And now the fun part starts, because then we're going to start with the design. For that I had all the plants that I show you, and I will be placing the terrarium like this. So this will be the front and this will be the back. And for that I want to put the tall plants in the back. So I have this beautiful plant. I have no idea what's the name, but it is tall and it has a beautiful back purple, so I think that this would look great at the back. Another plant that I really wanted to put is this one. I think it's just beautiful. I received it not long ago. This is called ivy from Papua or ivy from something. I will put the name on the screen, but I think it's just gorgeous. So I think it will do great in there. For this, what we want to do is take the plant, loose up the soil a bit, plus probably at least one of these ones. I'll just give them a rinse, a quick rinse, and then I'll come back. Well, so I'll be using these two, and what I'm also sure is that I want to use part of this beautiful peperomia. I'm not sure if peperomias do well in terrariums. I haven't found much people that do put them. I have seen a lot of begonias being placed in terrariums, but well, I'll try. And if not, well, you can always replace it, right? So you have to monitor your terrarium when you are putting plants that you are not sure if they will do well. But this one has such a beautiful red color that I think that it will look amazing. I also could take this bit, so I'll be placing this bit inside. Another one that I would like to try is this other peperomia inside. In this one I won't separate, I will be just using it such like it is, and we'll see how it goes. Well, I'll rinse the plants and then I'll come back to place them inside of the terrarium. Okay, they are rinsed and I am going to put them into the terrarium. I have to say that the best thing is actually to quarantine your plants first, just to make sure that they have no pests, because of course it is very good conditions normally a terrarium for some plants, but also for pests. So that's a little bit tricky, and here I'm risking it, but I am so excited that I will just do it and see how it goes. Actually, these plants come from different sources, so I mean, anything can have some plagues, but let's trust it and let's hope that actually they don't have anything. So to make the design, I will start with the taller plants in the back, as I mentioned. And then what I will do is put this beautiful one probably here. So it is basically here, running on the side and running a little bit towards the front with this smaller bit. Then I will use this Ficus pumila that I have from other projects. That is also a creeping plant, but then I will put it on the other side. And what I will do is just arrange it a bit towards the front, like this. So now the plants from the center, and for that, as I mentioned, I want to put these peperomias, and I have no idea how they will do, but let's hope that they do kind of okay. Let's see how it turns out. I'll put it here in the middle. Yeah, it looks actually very beautiful. And next to it, I will put the other peperomia that has a beautiful red color on the side. So for this one, I'm going to just do a small hole there. Just place it like this. Now this is looking actually quite pretty. I like it. But nothing is complete without some rocks and some moss. So you can see it here. I have 3 different types of mosses at least. So I am going to be using this moss here. I changed my mind. I think I will first put the rock. And then I will put the moss. And then I will put another rock here on the front. And more moss surrounding the rock. By putting the moss, I am also pressing a little bit on top. And I will put 2 different types of moss. This is like more like a star moss that I will put on the side. And I have some lava rocks as well, and some shells that actually I may use already. So I have this beautiful white one that will make a quite beautiful contrast, I think. So I will be using this one and putting just here in the middle. I think it's finished now, because we cannot put much more basically. But what we also want to do is give it a watering, and with the water we want to rinse the side of the base. With this bottle, I am going to be rinsing the sides of the wall, but I'll give you a shot from the top when I'm done. Okay, that amount of water was enough for now. Of course, you cannot be sure how much water you should be putting in, but what I will do is that I will leave it like this, and I will monitor my terrarium. If it gets too much condensation, like it looks now the whole day, that means that our terrarium is overwatered, so you need to open it for a couple of days, so leave the lid open, or you need to do this type of cleaning of the walls several times until you see that this condensation basically ceased. What is wanted as well is that you see some condensations in the morning and in the evenings, because that's when you have some temperature changes, and that's normal. It's totally normal to see some condensations at those times of the day. It is built to be faced this side because it goes from the tall plants all the way to the front. And let me give you a close-up from the top so that you can see how it looks. So here's a bit more clear. You see that in this part we have these tall plants that I sadly don't know the name. I bought them today and I don't know, but they have, like, as I mentioned, that beautiful change of color, that beautiful purple on the back sides. Then we have in the center, you can see the peperomia that looks like a peperomia watermelon. Then that peperomia that is a red peperomia. Then we have the ficus pumila on the side. On the other side we have this other beautiful plant that I will also list it on the screen. And in the middle, that white bit is the shell that I put in the middle of the terrarium. Then we have those two stones, and you can also see all that moss on the front of the terrarium. And the last bit to continue with this is to add the springtails. They are the cleaning crew. They keep the terrarium nice and clean, and they basically eat mold. That is one of the main problems with closed terrariums. And when they eat it, they also decompose several materials that actually serve as a fertilizer for the plants. So now I'm going to start adding the springtails. And for that, I am just basically opening this, and many are already jumping in. I don't know if you can see anything, probably not, but many are jumping into the terrarium. You can see them, right? I'll jump in. And I think that's enough for now. So you see them all around, happy and jumpy, and settled in their new home. This is how it looks, and now we're ready to close it and not open it until it needs some maintenance. So now it's closed and ready to go, and this is how our terrarium looks. Well guys, that was about it. I will keep you updated and see you in a couple of months with the updates of this 8-liter terrarium.